Welcome, my name is Eric Martineau, and this is part 2 of a 2-part series about private equity banking and the benefits thereof. In part 1, I spoke about what were the generic benefits of private equity banking. In this part 2, I'm going to show you how to use the basic principles of private equity banking using real case studies. Here are the 6 benefits of private equity banking. First, tax-free growth and tax-free use of your money for life. 2, guaranteed returns with 0 market risk. 3, liquid cash. You don't have to wait until you're old and gray to get at your cash. You can get it anytime you want. The 4th benefit of private equity banking is protection, both from creditors and lawsuits, as well as unpredictable economic events, those ups and downs in the market that none of us control. The 5th, compounded interest. Our money grows. Compounded interest coupled with tax-free growth is a fabulous tool. And then there's arbitrage, the 6th component. Very, very powerful. The ability to have our money working for us in 2 places simultaneously. Can't get that anywhere else, and tax-free. So I'm going to show you how you can utilize this arbitrage to increase your investment. In part 1, I stated that private equity banking is not an investment, it's a tool. I took part 1 and I sent that off to 2 of my mentors, 2 men in this industry that I really look up to. And one of them called me back and he said, look, Eric, private equity banking, it's the best investment that there is. You just have to use it properly. So he calls it an investment. The second one emailed me and he said, I do consider private equity banking an investment. But it's even better. It's a guaranteed investment. Then he added, but it's a tool as well. Well, I'm going to stick to my guns. I still think that it is a tool, but I'm going to change that to toolkit instead. Let me give an example. A couple years back on Black Friday, I went to Home Depot. I know, don't go to Home Depot on Black Friday. You're going to spend a couple $1,000. And they had this tool set there, right? I could buy all of these tools. Well, I needed both of the saws and I liked both of the drills. And I was like, cool. I didn't know what that last thing was. I'd never seen one of these before. In fact, I don't even to this day know what you call that thing, right? It didn't have the blade connected to it. 2 years later, I go to visit a friend of mine who is remodeling a hotel. And he's got one of these things and he's cutting through drywall and he hits a 2x4 and he just keeps going through it, hits a nail in the 2x4 and just cuts through it like butter. I'm like, that is a cool tool. I need one of those. And I started thinking, wait a minute, I got one of those. As I've thought about some of the people that I've helped get into private equity banking, it's dawned on me that we made it for one specific usage, but I've not expanded that to help people understand other ways that they could use this tool. And so I'm afraid that some of the people that have this tool bag that I've handed them don't understand all of the ways of utilizing a private equity banking account. So I'm going to do that for you today. In Tony Robbins' book, Money, Master the Game, listen right here. Tony Robbins says, I had an immediate aversion to the words life insurance. Like most, I'd been sold retail life insurance, and I wasn't going to be taken again. And then his attorney said to him, Tony, this is not your typical retail life insurance. You can't just buy this off the shelf. Think of this as an insurance wrapper to place around your investments. You see, his attorney thinks like I do. This is a toolkit. Private equity banking is a toolkit, a number of tools that you can use to improve or enhance your investments. So I'm going to change my definition from part 1 to part 2. Private equity banking is not an investment. It's a toolkit to enhance and improve your investments. Problem is, like you know, there's no user's manual. Why is that? Remember what Tony Robbins' attorney just said. She said, you can't just buy this off the shelf. Each policy is crafted around your goals, your finances, and your health. That's pretty private, isn't it? So what ends up happening at the end of these things is I have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that I keep your goals, your finances, and your health private. And so I've built a lot of these things and I've crafted them around a person's goals, their finances, and their health, but I don't go running around showing people. It's not like as if I sold a solar system to somebody and I can say to the Joneses, hey, look, I just got that for the Smiths. Look at that. I can't do that. So in making this how to use portion in part 2, I'm going to change the names, but I'm going to keep the prospectuses the same. So I'll show you real live illustrations, but please understand, I'm changing the names, not the numbers, to protect those that I've worked with in the past, again, so that their goals, their finances, and their health are not compromised by me by showing you how these folks have utilized these tools. But I hope at the same time, you'll be able to look at it. So let's call this Other People's User's Manual, right? But again, it's changed. Now, in grabbing other people's, let's say I'm using $20,000 as an example. You might be thinking, $20,000? Are you crazy, Eric? I don't get out of bed for $200,000. Why don't you show me examples with $2 million? Or you might be thinking, $20,000? Are you crazy? I could barely do $2,000. Let's do $200,000. I don't care where you're at. If you need to add 2 zeros or subtract 2 zeros from my examples, please understand the examples and the ideas will work whether you add a 0 or subtract a 0 for your financial situation. It's the concepts I want you to see on how to utilize the tools of private equity bank. So what I want to accomplish today is to show you how to get out of bad debt while still utilizing other people's money wisely. 2, how private equity banking can help you outperform the stock market with 0 risk. 3, how you can pay off structured loans with non-structured loans and lower your interest rates. I'm also a loan officer. A structured loan is what I give people anytime they want to buy a home. You have to make that payment on the first of each month. It's a structured loan. But inside of a private equity banking policy, even though you can borrow and use your cash value as collateral, what you borrow from the general fund of the insurance company is a non-structured loan. You never have to pay it back if you don't want to. If you want to make 3 payments in a month, make 3 payments in a month. If you want to make no payments in a month, don't make any payments. That's what I'm talking about. Again, very powerful tool when utilizing private equity banking. The next one, protect your business and your business's assets from the unpredictable and the uncontrollable. Let that sink in. You can get real estate, vehicles, equipment, it doesn't matter. And by owning them, but owning them through your private equity banking account, guess what? They are now protected from the unpredictable and the uncontrollable. I'm going to talk about this one at length. Don't pay cash and drop your savings to 0. Combine lost opportunity cost, which is what happens when we spend our money down to 0. That money is gone forever. We can't use it again. We're going to combine lost opportunity cost with arbitrage. So we have 2 pots of money, one that's always growing and one that we can use to leverage in other investments that as we pay it down, this one has kept growing. Okay? So we're going to use our money twice. Invest in real estate and receive higher rates of return and less risk. I'm a real estate guy. As I said, Diane and I owned 16 rental properties at one point in our life. That was going to be our retirement. And because I didn't have a private equity banking account, I lost all of that. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to invest in real estate, get higher rates of return, and have less risk. Invest in businesses or new businesses. If you're an entrepreneurial person, how to invest in new businesses and get higher rates of return with less risk. Also, build a predetermined, tax-free retirement income for you. A lot of people think life insurance is like, well, I can't use it during my life. It's only good for my family in the future. Not the case with private equity banking. Remember, you can get back to that cash anytime you need it. So if you want to tell me how you want your retirement income to look like. Eric, I want to take $70,000 out. I want to get to age 65, and at that point, I want $75,000. I want $135,000. I want $25,000. Again, the numbers don't matter. You can build a predetermined, tax-free retirement income using private equity banking and still have access to that money between now and then. And then lastly, build a predetermined, tax-free legacy for your heirs. You tell me, Eric, I want to have $5 million or $25 million or $50,000. Again, the numbers don't matter. You tell me how much you want to leave to your heirs, and we can build something so that at age 75 or whatever, you're there. You've got that money and you know it's going to your family. I want to give you a user's manual for all the tools that are available for those of us that have private equity banking accounts. What about angel investing? How can you use private equity banking with angel investing? I've done this. A good friend of mine, I worked with him for about 5 years, needed some cash to expand and buy some equipment in his company. It's a private company. He needed about $40,000. My money pays me 4.25, so on $40,000, that's $1,700. And when I borrow it, I have to pay 4.76. So I have a net difference of a negative 0.5. In this case, it's going to cost me $204. It's been 4 years since I invested in that guy's company. Haven't gotten a penny back. How much has it cost me so far? $816. That's it. I hope like crazy that he finally gets his company public and my shares, because I bought shares in his company to do this, increase. But for now, my $40,000 is still in the private equity banking account, and I've only had to pay $816 to lend him $40,000. Are you entrepreneurial types thinking, letting the juices run at this point? Here, let me give you another one. Day trading. I got another friend does day trading. You're just watching them candlesticks. Let's say he wants to throw in and risk $40,000 on day trading. What's it going to cost him? $204 for a year. I've got another friend who does this. He goes out and buys distressed vehicles. He's prior military, and he was disabled, and so he gets a paycheck every month just for waking up. And he's got a son who has disabilities, and these two gentlemen drive around. And he goes to auctions where he can pick up equipment that was vehicles that were taken in drug raids and things like that. He bought an RV that was about a $250,000 RV for $100,000, and before he even picked it up, he had already sold it for a $100,000 gain. Okay, where did he get the cash? Bingo. How much did it cost him? 2 days worth of money? You know, again, you got to have the money readily available. Back to that question, where's your money not sitting before you use it? Folks, this is what private equity banking can do for you. We've gone over many of the tools. 1, get out of debt while using other people's money wisely. 2, outperform the stock market with 0 risk. 3, pay off structured loans with non-structured loans and lower your interest rates. 4, protect your business and your business's assets from an unpredictable and uncontrollable events. Your real estate, your vehicles, your boats, your cars, your planes, your equipment, all of it. We've also shown how not to go and use cash and take your cash away and lose your opportunity cost. Use arbitrage instead. Use your money twice. Very powerful. Invest in real estate with higher rates of return and lower risk. You can also invest in businesses and new businesses and get higher rates of return with less risk. This is probably the most important, well, next to the most important, I guess. Build a predetermined, tax-free retirement income for you. I know a lot of people think insurance is for once you die. You just saw 2 examples where these people were able to build a predetermined, tax-free retirement income. And then also build a predetermined, tax-free legacy for your heirs. This is what you get with private equity banking. I look forward to helping you. Get a hold of me, let me show you, let me craft with you something that fits your goals, your finances, and your health so that you and your family can take advantage of private equity banking. I look forward to helping you. Thanks.